Part 47. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 461. Chapter 461, The Second Use of Glutinous Rice. 4 more requests for customization. Fox Ear Girl is a little different. After doing it so many times, the rice dumplings she makes are getting better and better. From being crooked at the beginning, to occasionally having openings at the back, and even exposing the glutinous rice, now the whole rice dumpling looks completely complete. Making zongzi is really not a simple thing. Yu Ying sighed and was very satisfied with her results. But the bundle of rice dumplings was the result of many attempts. The light rain is really powerful. Yanhua admires Fox Ear Girl very much on this point. She has always thought that people who can cook are very good. After all, she feels a little embarrassed when she thinks of her barbecue. Don't lose heart, let's do something else. Subai stood up, clapped his hands, and ordered Xiao, take the rice dumplings and steam them first. Yes, Yu Ying took all the rice dumplings into the kitchen with a smile. Do something else, Wu, do you want to do anything else during the Dragon Boat Festival? Yanhua asked curiously. But she was already eager to try. As long as she is not allowed to make rice dumplings, she can do anything. No, this incident has nothing to do with the Dragon Boat Festival, it just happened to happen. Subai shook his head. Yanhua fiddled with his long black hair and asked, what are we going to do? The Niojiao Niang has been looking forward to it, hoping to make some weapons or other interesting things. Subai picked up another pot of soaked glutinous rice and said, let's start making vinegar. Yes, after the system opened this package of glutinous rice, his other idea besides making rice dumplings was to make vinegar. Because glutinous rice is also used to make vinegar on the earth, and there is a lot of glutinous rice now. It's too wasteful to use it all to make rice dumplings. It happens that the tribe is short of a lot of condiments right now, among which vinegar is also very needed. Sometimes you can add a little vinegar to the dishes, and the taste will be very good. In addition, the vinegar will be available when the time comes. Go to other tribes and come back in exchange for some useful things. Vinegar? What is vinegar? Yanhua is the same today. She also heard many unfamiliar words. It is a condiment that can be added to food, Subai explained simply. Yanhua blinked her red eyes and asked, Wu, is this jealousy difficult? Can I do it too? The horn girl is already eager to try. Her greatest pleasure every day is to come to Wu's place after training to see if there are any other interesting things. It's not difficult to say, but there are still quite a few procedures to pay attention to, Subai said softly. The method of making vinegar from glutinous rice is similar to that of making wine. It needs to be soaked and washed before steaming. The last step is to add the koji and start stirring. After stirring evenly, let it ferment. In fact, in general the production process is similar to making wine. Anyone who can make wine can make vinegar. Yanhua nodded thoughtfully, ready to try it out after a while. Subai started to process the glutinous rice according to the brewing operation. After steaming it, he added the distiller's yeast, then stirred it and placed it in the porcelain jar. The whole process was completed in one go without any delay. Because I have experience in making wine, making vinegar is also very simple. Yanhua always felt that the scene was very familiar, and after thinking about it, she asked, was winemaking like this before? Well, it's not much different from the previous steps of making wine. Have you learned it? Do you want to give it a try? Subai asked. Of course, Yanhua nodded without hesitation and responded, I want to give it a try. Niojiao Niang happily scooped up the glutinous rice, and then imitated the wizard's instructions. Not to mention, on the one hand, her learning ability is still very strong, and there are no mistakes in every step, and she has completed it completely. The whole process of making vinegar. KK also saw it and was eager to try it. He also made a request to try it and made a vinegar jar according to the instructions. Okay, put it in a cool corner and wait for a while before eating it, Subai said with a smile. He didn't expect that girls in the primitive era could learn things so quickly. They could probably learn it just by looking at it. Woo, when can I eat this vinegar? Yanhua has already begun to wonder what vinegar tastes like. The heavy snow and ice is coming soon. According to the season, it will take 40 or 50 days, Subai said. If it is spring and winter, it does take so much time. Summer and autumn require a shorter time, only 20 or 30 days. Woo, how can I see that this vinegar is edible? Coco asked curiously. Just wait until the fermented liquid becomes sour, and you should like the taste by then, Subai said with a smile. Once vinegar is successfully made, it can be said to be a very good condiment. You can add a little vinegar to noodles and dumplings. The taste is simply not that good. Coco nodded thoughtfully. Head, my mind began to associate the vinegar with the experiment again. Okay, let's go and see Xiao's steamed rice dumplings. Now you can try the taste, Subai smiled and said. Good, Yanhua nodded and turned around and ran to the kitchen. Tap tap tap. More than 20 minutes later, the fox-eared lady came out from the kitchen with a basin of steaming rice dumplings. The rice dumplings are cooked. Come and try them out, Yu Ying said with a smile. Yanhua immediately stepped forward and specially picked a large rice dumpling and handed it to Subai. Because the rice dumpling was very hot, she kept turning it over and over in her hands and said with a smile, try it quickly and see how it tastes. Ha ha ha, Subai smiled and said, it's too hot, put it down first. He was really amused by the girl's cuteness. It was good to laugh and laugh every day during these days in the primitive tribe. Fourth update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 462. Chapter 462, Go there in person. One more request for customization. The breeze blew gently in the forest, and the leaves made a rustling sound as they fell, and the leaves began to slowly turn yellow. You can see yellow-green patches everywhere you look, and the temperature is slowly starting to drop. It will be cooler in the morning and evening, so people who go out to work in the morning will wear an extra piece of animal skin clothing. Generally, men go topless because it saves some animal skin, and it is less hot and makes it easier to do things. Subai stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window and looked in the direction of the river. The tribe had changed a lot recently. Many houses have already been erected. Although many are just empty shells and have not yet been built with stones, it will not take long. In addition, the leaves in the forest have turned yellow, and it really feels like the big ice and snow is getting closer. Woo, see if this is seawater. Shalan put a jar on the table. The cat-eared girl came to the cement house as soon as she got off the hot air balloon, eager to know if this was seawater. Subai raised his thick black eyebrows slightly and asked, is it going well? Nothing happened. After all, this trip lasted only 3 days, and we took a hot air balloon out, so he would still be more or less worried. Nothing happened, everything went smoothly, but it took a little longer. Shalan shook his head and said. That's good. Subai nodded lightly, opened the lid of the jar and started to look at the water inside. He first got closer and smelled the smell, and felt that the smell was very familiar. Then he reached out and touched a little water gently. After tasting it, he found that it was seawater. Wrong. Woo, is it seawater? Shalan asked expectantly. Well, this is seawater. It seems that you have found the sea. Subai nodded with satisfaction. As long as we find the sea, everything will be much easier. It just so happens that the tribe doesn't have much salt left. Woo, you said before that seawater can be used to make salt. How to make it? Shalan asked curiously. The cat-eared girl's cat ears kept trembling, and her face was full of anticipation. She thought this was incredible. I didn't expect that Wu knew so much. Not only could he make linen and porcelain, but he could also make paper, and I'm literate and can now make salt. Isn't it really amazing? To be precise, it is sun salt, but the sea is far away from us, so it is more difficult to operate. Subai was confused. He thought it would be much more convenient if he had a boat. He could transport the sea water back and dry it, so that he could control it better. If there is no boat, he would have to rely on hot air balloons to go there. When the time comes, if they don't understand, it will delay things a lot. In addition, there is nowhere to dry salt near there, and there are people who want to see the salt drying. This requires setting up tents there and taking precautions against the seaside. Wild beasts, ferocious beasts, this is too troublesome. Then there is no way to dry the salt. Shalan felt a little lost all of a sudden. There are still more than 10 days before the big ice and snow arrives. Making salt will be troublesome and I may need to go there myself. Subai frowned. The process of drying salt is not very simple. Just verbally instructing those people might not be able to do it well. So after thinking about it, he decided to go there in person, which would be safer. Does Wu want to go in person? This is too dangerous. Shalan worriedly said. Are their hunting grounds dangerous? It doesn't matter, in order to have salt for the tribe, I think I'd better go there, Subai said seriously. Shalan let out a sigh of relief and asked Wu, how long does it take to dry the salt? The big snow and ice is coming, are we still in time? Although the big snow and ice is coming soon, the sun has been very strong recently. We can get some good sunshine before the big snow and ice, but we can't get a lot of it, Subai analyzed. He planned to dry the salt this time without drying too much, so that it could probably survive the heavy ice and snow. He would wait until the heavy ice and snow came over to start drying the salt in large quantities. Okay, then I'll make some arrangements and we'll set off tomorrow, which will save some time, Shalan analyzed calmly. Well, just look at the arrangements. We can leave early tomorrow morning, or in the afternoon. Subai still wants to save more time. I know, if I have time, I will leave at night. Shalan nodded and continued. Wu, the second team of the hunting team has already set off. The cat-eared girl had just arrived at the tribe and got off the hot air balloon. She also saw the people from the hunting team coming back. They met in the air, and the two hot air balloons almost collided with each other. If not for the good real-time control, they would probably have fallen. Come on. The hot air balloons in the tribe are very precious now. There are only 3 hot air balloons in total. Because it takes a long time to make a hot air balloon because all aspects need to be very careful. Okay, let the people from the first team rest first, and then replace the people from the second team after a few days, Subai said softly. Well, I brought back a lot of prey this time, enough to overcome the ice and snow. Shalan said with a smile. Thanks to the hot air balloon, the problem of transporting food has been solved, so the time saved can be used for hunting, and the amount of food has naturally increased. Hunt more food is always good, and there will be more and more people in the tribe, so save more, Subai said softly. Yes, with the hot air balloon, their time will be spent hunting, so the food must be the most in the history of our tribe. Shalan said with a smile. To be honest, the cat-eared girl has already begun to look forward to the arrival of the big ice and snow. This time is different from previous years. Although she is the daughter of an intermediate totem warrior, the food she will receive will not be too little, but after all not as much as usual. This time, because there was so much food from hunting, De Binxiu will definitely not go hungry. In addition, the house she lives in now is very nice and can withstand the severe cold. Naturally, she is looking forward to De Binxiu. I wanted to see what the big ice and snow would look like after the tribe changed, and I thought it would definitely not be bad. You should take a good rest first, you must be very tired these past few days, Subai said gently. I'm fine, I'm not tired at all. I'll go find Ahua later. She probably misses me too. Shalan shook his head and said. Okay, she's at the training ground, you go find her first. Subai nodded lightly and said. I'd better take care of things to go to the sea first, and then I'll go find Sister Ahua after that. Shalan said seriously. Subai blinked his black eyes and nodded. Well, don't be too tired. He knows that the cat-eared girl has always been very hard-working and responsible, so he feels reassured about the things he entrusts to her. No, I will make arrangements first. Shalan smiled and said. Go ahead. Subai nodded and said. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 463. Chapter 463, Night Attack. 2 more please customize. Hoo hoo. 3 hot air balloons kept flying in the sky, and Subai and others left the tribe directly that day. This is the second day after leaving the Yanlong tribe. We have been heading towards the sea. In order to let the tribe realize the freedom of salt as soon as possible, we must go there in person. Woo, the wind is very strong, you'd better sit down. Shalan was worried. Since heavy ice and snow are coming soon, the temperature has begun to slowly drop. What's more, now that we are flying in the sky with a hot air balloon, it will inevitably be a little cold. It doesn't matter, it's good to look at the scenery, and I wore 2 pieces today. Subai shook his head and said. Since the weather has started to get colder, they brought more linen clothes when they went out. Yuying prepared them for Subai and her other beast-eared girls, and also made a lot of them. Food. For example, some sweet potato pancakes or fried potato pancakes. These are dry, easier to carry, and taste delicious. Woo, how long will it take for us to reach the sea? Yuying's face was full of expectations. Originally, Fox-ear Girl stayed in the tribe and did not follow her out, but Subai thought about it later and decided to bring her out. After all, he also wanted the girl to see the sea and stay in the tribe for a long time. Yes, it's good to go outside and take a look. According to the time Alan went last time, he should be able to arrive tomorrow morning. Subai said softly. To be honest, the closer he got to the sea, the more he looked forward to it. After all, he didn't know what the sea was like in the primitive era. And he didn't know if there would be other tribes along the coastline of the sea. If so, maybe we can cooperate. When the time comes, we can let them help with drying salt, and we can exchange food unique to the land with them. But all this is just speculation on his part, and he has to wait until he actually goes there. No. I wonder what the sea will be like, Yuying began to murmur to herself. Hoo hoo. The hot air balloon continued to fly in the sky, and it was already night in the blink of an eye. 3 hot air balloons also stopped in the forest by the river, planning to spend the night here and continue their departure tomorrow morning. Crackling. As night fell, several tents were set up in the forest by the river, and many bonfires were lit. The crackling sound of burning wood in the campfire was in sharp contrast to the roar of wild beasts in the forest. Subai and the girls sat in front of the bonfire, with the orange-red flames shining on their faces. The fox-eared lady took out the meat of the beast that the soldiers had just returned from hunting and was roasting it. As the seasonings were put down, bursts of fragrance wafted out. Woo, please eat an animal leg. Yuying handed over the roasted beast meat. You all should eat too. You must be hungry after flying all day. Subai took the roasted animal leg. Yanhua and the others all nodded heavily, picked up the cooked meat and started to feast on it. At night, the weather was not so hot, and everyone's appetite improved. Woo, you can sleep peacefully tonight, I will definitely watch you from outside. Yeju said seriously. This time, it was the wolf girl who offered to follow. Ever since she got the fighting knife, she had already made up her mind to follow Subai. Originally, it was because of him that she could enter Yanlong tribe, but I didn't expect that life would get better and better. Well, you guys should arrange to take turns guarding me at night. Watching alone is too tiring, Subai ordered. Sometimes one person will start to feel tired and relaxed after watching alone for an entire night, so it's better to have multiple people take turns to replace each other. I see, Yeju nodded. Rustling. Just when Lang Niang finished speaking, a burst of sounds came from not far away from them. Yeju immediately stood up and drew out a fighting knife. His grey eyes scanned the surroundings, his expression looking very serious. The same goes for Yanhua, her red eyes widened, and she also took out the saber from the bag of the water tank. Which, be careful, Shalan immediately stood up and stopped in front of Subai. She had already held a long bow in her hand. Although Yu Ying was not a warrior and could not help much, she was also very brave. She picked up the fruit knife she had just used to cut the meat. She also stood up and gathered around. She mustered up her courage, widened her pink eyes, and said, "Which, I will protect you." Subai was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that the fox-eared lady, who had always been timid, would be so brave now. This was really a bit beyond his expectation. When he saw the other party holding a fruit knife, he still felt a little bit nervous all over his body. Shivering, he couldn't help but feel very warm. He stretched out his hand to hold the fox-eared girl and said, "Just leave this place to them. You sit down first. Although I am very touched by fox-eared girl's move, we can still leave this matter to the soldiers to handle." "Who is there?" Yu's expression was very serious, and she kept waving the crocodile knife in her hand. The rabbit-eared girl took Shahong's place this time, and also came out of the tribe. Rustling. There was a rustling sound not far from them, and those sounds were getting closer and closer. "Call out." Suddenly there was a sound of breaking through the air, and a black shadow flew over from a distance very fast. Yeju's reaction was also very fast. He saw the thing in an instant, and quickly ran to Subai and took it out. The hand holding the fighting knife blocked the black shadow with the fighting knife. Snap! As the black shadow fell, what slowly emerged was a sharp stone. The stone was polished to be long and thin, and the key point was that it was very sharp. If this stone pierced a person, it would be instantly, it penetrates right through, and if it hits the fatal spot, it will kill you directly. Which, be careful, Yeju immediately blocked the front. Subai blinked his black hat and looked at the stone on the ground. In fact, he had already sensed the person in the distance. He knew it before the rustling sound even started. But I don't want to alert the snake. I want those hiding in the dark to get closer, so that it will be easier to solve. There are not many people hiding in the dark, only 4 in total. In fact, Subai is already prepared. When those 4 people get close, use your innate skills. He pointed his gun and killed them all, but before he could take action, he was blocked by the wolf-eared lady. The opponent's strength is not bad, so you should be careful, Subai warned seriously. It can be clearly seen from the falling stone. It must use a lot of force or even the power of a totem to throw the stone to have the effect just now. Yes, Yeju also understands. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 464. Chapter 464, Purple-haired girl with an accent. The moonlight is getting brighter and brighter, and the screams of wild beasts in the forest are getting louder and louder, but the beautiful scenery at this moment is completely incompatible with the current atmosphere. Subai and others didn't speak, their expressions were very serious. All that could be heard now were the sounds of some wild beasts. Gugu lily. Chi 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 hoo hoo. Yeju's expression became more serious, and Gray kept looking around seriously, trying to find out the presence of the enemy. Otherwise, the enemy will be in the dark while you are in the open, which will be very detrimental to you. You did the same, brushing all her hair behind her back, holding the crocodile knife tightly in her hand, ready to deal with emergencies at any time. Preparatory soldiers such as Yanhua, Shalan, and Air followed closely beside Subai. They were surrounded by several people, all holding weapons and facing the outside world. They never thought that they would encounter danger here. Because the places I chose were relatively remote, it was impossible for anyone to be there, but I didn't expect that this kind of thing would still happen. Call out! Call out! Call out! The sound of breaking through the air sounded again, but this time there were several black shadows flying out, which meant several sharp stones. Snap! 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 Yeju, Yu, and others quickly blocked all these black figures, and every movement was very clean and neat. They were not willing to sit still and wait for death any longer, so they picked up their weapons and rushed towards the place they sensed. Past. Tap tap tap. The footsteps of several people running were particularly obvious at night. The speed was also very fast. In the blink of an eye, they rushed to the location where the stone came from. So fast, the voice in the darkness suddenly sounded like a female voice. Brush brush brush. You swung the crocodile knife quickly, chopping down all the messy bushes. After the bushes were chopped down, the person who had been hiding in the bushes also appeared. Yeju and the others did the same, and they also found out all the other three people. The dark figure looked like a girl and three boys, all of whom didn't look very old. The figure in the darkness obviously didn't expect this to happen, and all four of them were covered. They were all a little at a loss for a moment. They all stood there in a daze, and they even forgot to escape. You tied all four of them with vines and brought them to Subai. Her expression was very ugly. If she hadn't wanted to get to the bottom of it, she might have just chopped these four people with a knife. Who are you? Subai asked with a frown. The moonlight fell gently on these people, and their appearances began to appear clearly. The girl in the front had medium short purple hair and a few freckles on her face. The skin is also wheat-colored. Despite this, her facial features still look very delicate, and her appearance is very similar to the Xinjiang beauties on the other side of the earth. She is not very short, about 1.67 meters tall, and she is wearing tattered animal skins. Has obviously lived in the wild for a long time. It can be seen from her skinny figure and the stains on her face that she looks malnourished. The other three are also similar, and they all look well nourished. He is not very tall, and he looks about 20 years old, but his height is only about 1.7 meters. In primitive times, the height of adult men was considered short. It is obvious that nutrition has not kept up, so as a result, they did not grow very tall. Their skin color was also wheat-colored, and their facial features were also very three-dimensional. The purple-haired girl did not speak, and the expression on her face was very surprised. It was obvious that she had not recovered from what just happened. They were pulled away from that scene. Several other people were also speechless for a moment. They looked very frightened. We witches ask you, who are you? Shalan changed her usual quiet image and suddenly became very serious. The purple-haired girl was stunned for a while before she realized what she was doing, and asked in confusion, how did you discover us? Subai was stunned for a moment when he heard the purple-haired girl's voice. He didn't expect the accent to be so strong. He couldn't tell what the accent was, but it was completely different from the voice he heard now. It's just like the southerners on the other side of the world hear the northerners speaking the same way, and immediately know the difference. And this difference is very obvious. It can also be clearly seen from the appearance of the other party. These people must be from far away. Don't ask these irrelevant questions. Who are you? Otherwise we will get rid of you immediately, Shalan said with a murderous tone. If he really didn't want to find out who these people are, I'm afraid these people would have died behind the bushes long ago. We are from the mountain elephant tribe, but we can't go back, and then we are very hungry, so we happen to see you here. The girl with purple hair speaks with an accent. Mountain elephant tribe? I have never heard of this tribe. Is it nearby? Shalan continued to ask. Because the cat-eared girl has a good memory, she has heard many stories since she was a child, and also heard the names of many other tribes, but this is the first time she heard the name of this tribe. From the other side of the river, but we can't go back, the girl with purple hair said. When she finished saying this, the sadness on her face immediately appeared. Why can't you go back? Is it because you did something wrong and were kicked out? Shalan continued to ask. The purple-haired girl shook her head and said nothing. Her mood was obviously a lot lower. Subai blinked his black eyes and looked at those people. He heard that those people came from the other side of the river. His interest suddenly arose. He stood up, looked at those people, and asked, what's on the other side of the river? Are there people like you there? What Subai asked was whether the people over there all looked like this, and whether their skin color was this dark. The purple-haired girl slowly raised her head, looked at the other person and nodded slowly. She at this moment, I can't help but sigh in my heart, why do their skin look so white? And their facial features look so small, and why do they speak so strangely? They are completely different from them. But the difference was that she saw that they were very well dressed, something she had never seen before. The things on them looked completely different from animal skins, and they felt like they would be very comfortable to wear. How is the environment over there? Is it the same as here? Subai asked. Third update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 465. Chapter 465, There is sand everywhere. For more, please customize. The reason why he asked this was to see if it was because of the differences between the two regions. That's why they look different and even speak with slightly different accents. Because this is the case on the other side of the earth. On a smaller scale, there are differences between southerners and northerners on the other side of the earth. If the classification is large, then white people, yellow people, and black people are different. The purple-haired girl kept looking at Subai with her purple eyes wide open, and after a while she said, there aren't many trees there. This simple sentence ended with a thick accent. Not that many trees? So what is everywhere in your place? Subai wondered. There are many areas without so many trees, such as deserts, grasslands, snowy mountains, and places with many rocks. He guessed that the purple-haired girl was probably talking about one of these places. Well, if we combine these places, the girl's appearance can be explained. After all, those places are not like this place, with so many trees and water sources to nourish people, so their appearance is inevitable. There will be a little change. There is sand everywhere. Who are you? The purple-haired girl summoned up the courage to ask. She can be said to have admitted defeat at this moment. After all, she is tied up now. And the opponent's strength seems to be very strong, otherwise he would not be defeated in a short time. He subdued them all. Although he was caught, he still wanted to know who they were. After all, their appearance and style were completely different from his own. Sand everywhere? Is it a desert? Subai thought to himself, raised his head and said, it doesn't matter who we are you hungry? The purple-haired girl nodded without hesitation and said, I'm very hungry. We haven't eaten anything all day today. Why are you here? Didn't it mean it was on the other side of the river? Subai asked curiously. If the other party is coming from the other side of the river, it means that they also have a chance to go there. People in this area cannot build boats. If they can go to the other side of the river without building a boat, good. We floated here, something happened, the purple-haired girl's voice stopped abruptly. It was obvious that she didn't want to say too much, and this incident was obviously a bit traumatizing to her. Well, if you don't want to say it, don't say it. Let's eat something first, Subai said softly. He could feel that he was not a bad person these days. People in this era are all just for food, otherwise they would not do these things. The purple-haired girl was stunned for a few times and doubted whether she heard wrong. He asked repeatedly, "Is everything you said true? This is the first time I heard of someone who attacked someone and the other person gave him food. This is simply unbelievable." "Of course, don't you want to eat it?" Subai said deliberately. "Eat, of course you have to eat," the purple-haired girl nodded. Shalan was stunned, and wondered if she heard wrongly, and asked, "Which, is everything you said true?" The cat-eared girl was a little shocked. Didn't the other party want to harm us? Why did they still give them food? "It doesn't matter, just give it to them, their intentions are not bad," Subai said. Shalan sighed and had no choice but to get food for them, but did not loosen their ties. After the purple-haired girl had the food, she was extremely satisfied and started to eat happily. "Which, they attack us, why should we give them food?" Yanhua said in confusion. In fact, Niojiao Niang didn't understand, and she also wanted to kill them. "Their intentions are not bad, so with good guidance we can get a lot of the information we want," Subai said softly. He had more things to consider in his mind. Not only did he want to know what was going on in the other continent, but he also wanted to know if there were many people there. If there were many people there and nothing happened, if so, he can bring them over. This is the best labor force for me. And the girls with purple hair eat very quickly and are very generous. Plus there is a big desert over there, so there must be a shortage of supplies. If we give them some sweetness, then they will definitely be willing to come and work. Woo, they are too dangerous, I think they should be dealt with, Yeju said seriously. The black shadows projected just now clearly showed this. The other party wanted to put them to death. Wait a moment. After they finish eating, I will ask a few more questions. Subai raised his hand and said. He still believed in his own judgment. These people would definitely not be too bad. Although Yanhua and the others said they didn't understand, they had no choice but to listen to what the witch said after all. More than 20 minutes later, the purple-haired girls devoured the food. Then they looked satisfied. After eating, one hand was tied back because they only had one hand free when they were eating food. And the weapons on their bodies were also, they've all been searched, and there are a lot of people around, so they don't pose a threat. Have you finished eating? Is the food delicious? Subai asked. The purple-haired girl nodded without hesitation and responded, it's delicious. It's the best food I've ever eaten. When they ate the food, they were shocked. The taste was unprecedentedly delicious. It was something they had never eaten in the mountain elephant tribe, but because they were so hungry and the food was so delicious, I have no time to think about anything else, I just focus on eating. What kind of food do you eat over there? Subai asked. They are all leaves and roots of some plants, followed by some running beasts. The girl with purple hair started to speak less nervously. Fourth update, please support and customize. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 466. Chapter 466, Follow secretly. One more, please customize. Are they all leaves and rhizomes? Subai raised his eyebrows slightly and continued to ask what kind of beasts are these running beasts. He wanted to find out what it was like where they lived, and understand the living habits there, so that he could be prepared to deal with it in the future. The yellow sand beast has some other beasts, the girl with purple hair said. She was still staring at the food being baked next to the campfire. It was obvious that she was not full yet. Keep eating. Sudbai waved his hand and continued to ask, do you want to come to our tribe? He saw that these people were also children, about the same age as the horned ladies. Go to your tribe. The purple-haired girl was stunned. She originally held a skewer of meat in her hand, but she was stunned after hearing these words. Woo, this is not good, is it? Yanhua feels a little dangerous. It doesn't matter, they are not bad people, as long as they have food to eat, Sudbai said lightly. The purple-haired girl blinked her purple eyes and asked, there are many of us. A lot of people? How many people? Sudbai was a little surprised. I didn't expect there was an unexpected gain. It would be nice to have more people. This would also be a labor force. I thought there were only 4 of them. There are more than 100 people in total, and we have lived here for a long time, said the girl with purple hair. More than 100 people can all come to our tribe, as long as you are willing, Sudbai nodded. The purple-haired girl couldn't believe her ears and asked again, really? Of course what I said is true. If you are willing, you can all come, Sudbai nodded firmly. But we have nothing to give you. The girl with purple hair looks a little embarrassed. As long as you are willing to work, it will be fine. If you are willing to work, you will get food, Sudbai said softly. He doesn't care what the other party has, as long as the other party can work. The most important thing is that he can bring labor to the tribe. That's okay, we have plenty of strength, and we can help you work. The purple-haired girl nodded repeatedly. She thought she was going to give the other party something, but she thought they had nothing, so they were probably out of luck, but she didn't expect that all they had to do was work. May I have your name? Sudbai asked. Luza, the girl with purple hair, introduced herself. It's a nice name, so bring them all over, Sudbai said. Shalan fiddled with his blue hair and whispered, woo, we don't have that much food to bring out. The cat-eared lady just took a quick look. The remaining food is only enough for them to eat when they go back. If they want to share it with those people, it will definitely not be enough. It doesn't matter, just keep hunting. Anyway, it won't be long before we go back, Sudbai said. The more than 100 people of other races brought into the tribe are also a kind of fresh blood. They are some distance away and the 4 of us just came out to find something to eat. Luza turned her head and looked deep into the forest. How long would it take them to get to the river? Sudbai plans to arrange some things. If you walk, it will take a day, Luza said. Then you go and bring them over first, and then we will deal with things. We will pick you up when we come back from the end, Sudbai said seriously. Luza looked at the other party expressionlessly, with a look of disbelief on his face. Okay, he said after a while, you won't leave directly, right? She was a little worried that the other party would leave them alone after they left. They finally saw hope, but they couldn't throw it away easily. Since they came to the side from the other side of the river, they have been looking forward to someone passing by here every day. In addition to grabbing some, in addition to food, I wanted to see if I could join their tribe. After all, if you want to live a safe life in this huge forest, you must join the tribe. Because only by entering the tribe can you be guaranteed to have enough food, otherwise you have to wait outside. Die. Of course not, we will be back soon. I am a shaman from the Yanlong tribe. I will do what I say, Sudbai said seriously. He wanted to know more about the other side of the river, so it was impossible to abandon them. If you want to know about the other side of the river, these people are undoubtedly the best people to ask. I do not believe the food Luza was eating suddenly stopped, looking quite aggrieved. So be it, I'll let my people stay, so you should always trust me, Sudbai said. He had nothing to do with the girl. He still felt a little distressed when he saw her sudden expression. Okay, then you must come back. Luza showed an expectant look. It was not easy to meet someone who was willing to give him food and didn't mind that he had attacked him. In addition, he had to take himself and his tribe to his tribe. Such a good person was still the first. I saw it for the first time, so I can't give up easily no matter what. Well, You go back to your tribe first, take my people with you, and then wait for us here the day after tomorrow, Subai said seriously. Good. Luza nodded without hesitation. Subai smiled slightly, turned to Aoki Katua and ordered, you two stay, follow them, remember to protect yourselves. Yes, Aoki Katua immediately responded. The two of them are known to be strong and cautious in dealing with others, so they were arranged to go. Tap tap tap. Subai looked at their leaving figures and began to think about what was going to happen next. It would be a little difficult for the tribe to accept these people after they returned. After all, these people are completely different from the people of the tribe in terms of their appearance and the way they talk. It is easy for the tribesmen to reject these people because Luza and the others look like barbarians. Although the people of primitive tribes are all similar, some of them look a little more rugged because of their skin color and clothing. If there are only a few people, forget it, but there are more than 100 of them. Suddenly there are so many people in the tribe, it will still be a little different. Woo, let Aoki Katua follow them. Wouldn't it be dangerous? Chinchi suddenly said curiously. I can't guarantee this, but it shouldn't be a big problem, so you need to follow me at this time. Subai said. Changshi blinked his single-lidded eyes and asked doubtfully, does Wu want me to follow them all the way? Well, follow me secretly and report back immediately if anything happens, Subai said seriously. Yes, Chinchi liked doing this kind of thing, so he immediately flapped his black wings and flew away. Please update for support and customization. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 467. Chapter 467, The Memory is Back. 2 more please customize. Hoo. Early the next morning, the 3 hot air balloons began to fly again, heading towards the sea. Wu, do you think Luzi and the others were kicked out of the tribe because they did something wrong? Shalan asked curiously. This question has been bothering the cat-eared girl last night. She always felt that something was wrong with these people. Maybe it was because they attacked first at the beginning, so she subconsciously felt that they were not good people. In addition, we have to bring them all back to the tribe, not to mention there are hundreds of people, so we are very worried that they will do something detrimental to the tribe. After all, the origin of these people is unknown, whether they are from the other side of the river doesn't know either. The cat-eared girl was so cautious that she had many thoughts in her mind last night. The more she thought about it, the more she couldn't sleep, so she didn't look very good today. I don't think it's possible. Even if you were driven out, you wouldn't be able to get here from the other side of the river, right? Subai overturned this idea from the beginning. If those people really had evil intentions, they would not attack them in the first place. No one would be stupid enough to expose their hostility from the beginning, let alone their numbers. Far inferior to myself. It was obvious that I was really hungry, so hungry that I had no choice but to lose my mind, so I made this decision. If I really had ulterior motives, I would have packaged myself as a weak person from the beginning. Use this to gain sympathy and trust before taking action. It is impossible to do this from the beginning. In addition, they are also very young, so it is impossible for them to think so much. But there are so many of them, how can they be brought back to the tribe? Shalan said doubtfully. Just take them all back in a hot air balloon. As long as you drop the others off at the sea, there will be space to take them back, Subai said seriously. These 3 hot air balloons are very large. The area of the 3 baskets can accommodate up to about 200 people. And the people brought out this time are only more than 40 people. As long as they are put down at the sea, just let them watch the salt drying. That's right, as long as these people are put down, we will have a place. Shalan nodded and said. When the time comes, go back and arrange for them to live in a less crowded place. Don't let them get close to too many people yet, Subai warned. Shalan fiddled with his wind-blown hair and asked doubtfully, why is this? These people look a little different from us, and their accents are also different. People in the tribe will inevitably be a little bit repelled, so don't arrange for them to live in crowded places for now. Wait for a while and then slowly integrate into the tribe with them. Barsubai explained. Then I know. When I get back, I will ask them to arrange them on the outside of the tribe. There are fewer people, but they are all wooden houses. Shalan said. They have no qualifications to choose now. If there is a wooden house for them to live in, they will be very happy, Subai said lightly. But we have a stone house, so why would they be happy living in a wooden house? Yu Ying listened very curiously. They have been wandering around for a long time, and they will certainly be happy if they are given a place to live. Shalan explained. Not only that, wooden houses are rare for them, Subai added. As far as he knows, there are very few trees in the desert, so wooden houses are also very luxurious for them. They will be very happy if they are assigned a wooden house to live in, and they will be grateful when the time comes. We'll also work harder. So that's it. I just hope those people aren't bad people. Yu Ying is the most worried person. Hoo. As time passed, the hot air balloon began to slowly approach the sea. Subai felt the sea breeze blowing on his face, and that familiar feeling suddenly emerged. The faint fishy smell of the sea and the salty taste are the taste of the sea. This taste is simply too familiar. Here we are, Subai said with a smile. He looked around at the entire sea. The wide river slowly merged into the sea. The forests on both sides slowly stopped when they reached the sea, and were replaced by two smooth forests beach. Except for the beaches on both sides of the coast, the other edges are endless, only the blue sea water. Since it is afternoon at this moment, the sun's rays reflect the sparkling side on the sea water. The sea in this scene looks like the surface of the sea has been coated with a layer of broken silver, and the display is particularly beautiful. So beautiful, Yanhua excitedly stuck her head out of the hot air balloon. If she hadn't been holding the fence with both hands, she would have jumped out. This is really beautiful. Is this the sea? Much wider than that river, Yu Ying sighed. Coco blinked her golden eyes in surprise, and suddenly felt that the scene was very familiar. She couldn't blink at the end, and said in surprise, it's so beautiful and very familiar. The blonde girl originally didn't want to follow her because she had stayed in the tribe for a long time. Subai was afraid that she would be too bored, so he took her out. Looks familiar? Did you remember something? Shalan immediately poked her head over. It's been a while since the blonde girl came to the tribe, and this was the first time in a long time that she heard her say the words very familiar. Did you just come from the sea? Yanhua also withdrew her head from the hot air balloon. After hearing this, Subai's thick black eyebrows raised slightly and asked, did you live here before? Coco frowned. Her expression was very serious as she kept thinking about something, but this time it was different. It was not so uncomfortable when she recalled it. She looked at it for a while before she said, yes, I used to live in here, I'm sure. The blonde girl's tone suddenly became firm. This was the first time she had been so firm since she lost her memory. What? Did you live in the sea before? Yanhua's red eyes widened. This news was so shocking. When Niojiao Niang asked her before, the other party could not remember it, and even looked very broken. Why did she remember it now? How is that possible? He must live near the seaside. Shalan turned her head to look at the blonde girl and asked, is that so? Subai was a little surprised at first, but now that he thinks about it, he feels that nothing is impossible. He looked at the blonde girl seriously and asked, where is your tribe? Is it far from here? Coco's brows were still furrowed tightly, and she began to try hard to recall the deep memories. She pointed to the right side of the hot air balloon and said, our tribe is there, but... Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 468. Chapter 468, Sea Worms and Sea Fish. 3 more please customize. Subai looked at the side pointed by the blonde girl and asked, what tribe are you from? The Sea Fish tribe, but, Coco's face began to show sadness. What's wrong? Did something happen to the tribe? Subai saw the sadness of the blonde girl. The tribe is no longer there, overrun by the sea worm tribe. Coco sighed deeply. Her memory suddenly came back to her. Yes, the reason why she appeared near the Yanlong tribe was because she escaped. What happened? Subai asked. The sea fish tribe was originally a small tribe, but it had always lived a good life, being self-sufficient in both food and seafood. However, it was precisely because of this that other tribes looked down upon it. Coco took a deep breath and continued, in addition, our tribe is the smallest tribe on the seaside. Many tribes want to bully us, and the sea insect tribe is one of them. Is the seaworm tribe a big tribe? Subai asked. No, it is a medium-sized tribe with about 1,000 people. Our tribe only has more than 500 people. Coco shook her head and said. Since it is a medium-sized tribe, why would they attack you? Aren't you afraid that other tribes are attacking them? Subai asked curiously. No, the tribes on the seaside only care about themselves and will not care what happens to other tribes, let alone attack them because he attacked other tribes. Coco shook her head and said. Why is that? After the sea worm tribe attacked your tribe, wouldn't they themselves be traumatized? Then other tribes can launch an attack at this time and annex the sea insect tribe. Subai thought so. No, the sea insect tribe is the closest to our tribe. The other tribes are a bit far away, so the news cannot be transmitted so quickly. Coco explained. How many tribes are there on the coast? Subai asked. I don't know about this, but there should be quite a few. I heard my father say that there seem to be about 20 tribes. Coco recalled. Are all these tribes by the sea? Not in the forest. Subai wants to figure out the pattern of the seaside. He plans to conquer all the tribes on the seaside. In this way, all the industries on the seaside will belong to him. You must know how popular the tribes near the sea can be. In addition to building seaside outside the port, all kinds of seafood will emerge in endlessly. But this is a matter for the future. For now, it is better to consider cooperating with the tribes on the seaside. If you can get them to help salvage some seafood, and then go through your own, if you trade your hands to other tribes, this will undoubtedly make a lot of money. But the prerequisite is that you have a ship, otherwise all this will not be implemented. There are also some, but very few, and most of them are on the seaside, because a lot of fish can be caught from the sea, which is also one of the tribe's main food sources. Coco said. I understand. How many people in your sea fish tribe are still alive? Subai asked. I didn't know that. My father asked me to ride away on Pupu, while he stayed to fight against the sea worm tribe. Coco regrets leaving. What is Pupu? Subai noticed this creature. It is a flying beast. I have raised it since childhood, and I don't know what happened to it. Coco remembered that she was the only one who appeared near the Yanlong tribe, so something must have happened to Pupu. The blonde girl suddenly collapsed because she remembered too many things at once, and these things were not good memories. She began to cover up. She was crying, missing her father, the master of the tribe, and Pupu. Subai reached out to rub the girl's head and comforted her. Everything will be fine, I will help you get the tribe back. When Coco heard this, she who had been crying suddenly stopped slowly. She slowly raised her head and asked seriously, which, is everything you said true? Well, when have I ever lied to you? Subai asked seriously. In fact, the main reason why he wanted to help the blonde girl take back the sea fish tribe was for his own consideration. Because if there was a tribe by the sea that he controlled, everything would be much more convenient. For example, when it comes to drying salt, you can let the people of the marine fish tribe dry salt, and you can also let them build a seaside port on the seaside. Or you can let them start raining to salvage seafood, and then use boats to transport these seafood products back to the Yanlong tribe. However, these premises are based on the fact that the sea fish tribe belongs to the Yanlong tribe, so this is the most important reason why I helped the blonde girl take back the sea fish tribe. Woo, but our tribe is far away from the sea, and there is no way for the soldiers to come over, Coco said worriedly. Although she was very grateful and very excited, after thinking about it, it seemed difficult to execute it. Although the current Yanlong tribe is very powerful, there is no point in being stronger, because the distance is just a matter of distance. There. Hot air balloons alone cannot transport many people, and there are more than 1,000 people in the sea worm tribe. If hot air balloons are used to transport them, it will take many trips, which is obviously unrealistic. All this will have to wait until the heavy snow and ice passes before it can be implemented, Subai comforted. The tribe has not started building the ship yet. Everything has to wait until the ship is built. After the ship is built, more people will be transported, and the time to the sea insect tribe will be greatly shortened. I see Coco's mood has been somewhat comforted. She believes that as long as the witch says it, it will be done, so she just needs to wait. But before that you need to do one thing, Subai suddenly said seriously. Woo, what do you want me to do? As long as we can bring the sea fish tribe back, that will be great, Coco said seriously. I need you to go to the sea worm tribe and see if anyone from your tribe is left, Subai said seriously. If anyone from the fish and Chong tribe survives, it will be much easier to take back the sea fish tribe. But the people in the sea insect tribe know me, so I will definitely be arrested if I go there, Coco said worriedly. Don't be afraid, just use a hot air balloon and let AI follow you, Subai arranged. There is no such thing as carrots in primitive tribes. He also asked before that most of the people in the tribe suffer from night blindness. And they still use hot air balloons to fly in the sky. Almost no one can spot the hot air balloons. As long as just fly in the sky from a distance and observe the sea insect tribe. It would be even better if you can find people from the sea fish tribe. If you can't find them, it won't be a big deal. Third update, please support and customize. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 469. Chapter 469, just dry it in the sun. For more please customize. But woo, it was too dark at night, and we couldn't see clearly that there were no people in the tribe. Coco expressed her worries. It's not a big problem. If people from your tribe survived, they must have been arranged to be slaves. Subai paused and continued, it's definitely impossible to live in a wooden house. The most you can do is sleep in a tent outside, and you will probably work at night. It shouldn't be difficult to find it. I know, then I will definitely try my best to do this well, Coco said seriously. The girl who originally looked very calm and quiet suddenly became extremely serious and determined. Coupled with the girl's clean short hair, this expression became even more perfect. Don't think too much about it. Let's go out to dry the salt first. Once we have planned the salt drying, we will discuss your tribe's affairs, Subai said softly. The main purpose of coming out this time is to dry the salt. Things that can be done immediately must be arranged first. As for snatching back the sea fish tribe or observing the seaside tribe, everything has to wait until the salt is dry. Let's talk about the salt thing after we get it sorted out. Yes, Coco nodded. There are no tribes on the beach or it is far away from the tribes, Subai asked. Since we are going to bask in the salt, we must not let other people know about it. Everything must be kept secret. Fly forward, all the way to the end. There are almost no peeling tribes there, because it is too far away and ordinary people cannot reach it. Coco pointed to the front left and said. Okay, just go there, Subai nodded and said. Hoo hoo. The hot air balloon started to fly towards the left front under control, and it took several hours to get there. After Subai saw that place, he finally understood why no one could get there. Because although there is a large open space there, there is also a high cliff in the middle. If you want to climb over that cliff, it will definitely take a lot of time, and it will also be very dangerous. However, this cliff obviously provides good help for drying salt. As long as the tribesmen dry salt here, they will not be discovered. The hot air balloon began to descend slowly under skillful operation, and finally stopped on the beach. "Woo, how to dry the salt?" Shalan asked curiously. When the cat-eared girl stepped on the beach, she felt an unprecedented softness. This was a feeling that the land in the forest could not give her. The sand would sink as soon as she stepped on it. It feels so strange. Moreover, the sand looks thin and white, and it is also very beautiful. It is completely different from the land I usually walk on. Others also observed their feet one after another, and some even started to lower their heads. Playing with the sand. It takes steps from seawater to evaporation pond, crystallization pond, coarse salt, and mother liquor to produce salt, Subai said professionally. On the other side of the earth, the main method of extracting salt from seawater is the salt field method, which is an ancient and widely used method. So what to do? Will it be complicated? Shalan asked later. Choose an area with a mild climate and plenty of sunshine, and choose a large flat beach to start building salt fields, Subai said. Salt fields? Woo, what is a salt field? Shalan continued to ask. A salt pan is a place where salt is dried and is generally divided into two parts, an evaporation pond and a crystallization pond, Subai explained simply. Anyway, there are too many girls who don't understand it, so I'll just give it a rough explanation. In fact, the salt field mainly introduces seawater into the evaporation pool. When the evaporated water reaches a certain level in the sun, pour into the crystallization tank. Then the seawater will turn into a saturated solution of salt, and then the salt will gradually precipitate out under the sunlight. The resulting crystals are our common coarse salt, and the remaining liquid is called mother liquor, from which various chemical raw materials can be extracted. As early as the ancient Chinese nation on Earth, coastal residents used seawater to make salt, introduced seawater into salt fields, and concentrated the seawater through the evaporation of sunlight and wind, making it saturated and further crystallizing the salt. In fact, these steps are not too complicated. Difficult, the most important step is to make the salt field. Woo, where should we choose the salt field? Shalan looked around and found sand everywhere. Subai also carefully observed the surrounding environment, and finally found a suitable place for salt fields in a place with less sand. He found that here the soil content is relatively high, and he said, let's set up the salt field here and start digging holes. Yes, the preparatory soldiers immediately nodded and started digging the pit. Since they just wanted to test it first, and then dry some salt for use in heavy ice and snow. Therefore, the salt field was not dug very large, and it did not take a long time, about 20 minutes. Just finished digging. Continue to dig a channel all the way to the sea, Subai continued to order. What we have to do now is to introduce seawater into the evaporation pool so that we can start drying the salt. Yes, what started to pick up the hoe and start digging the channel again. This time I brought the tool with me when I came out. In 10 minutes, a long channel was dug, and the seawater began to be slowly introduced into the sun along the channel. Inside the salt pond. Just watch here. When the seawater is slowly dried, crystals will form. Then, Subai began to explain to the preparatory soldiers. After all, he only needs to hand over the knowledge to them, and then they will watch. I have to rush back to the tribe, so I can't spend too much time here. And drying salt cannot be completed in a short time, so you need to explain it in advance. Yes, the preparatory soldiers nodded seriously. 10 minutes later, After Subai finished explaining, he ordered to start preparing to find a place to live. We still have to sleep at the beach tonight and wait until early tomorrow morning before setting off. And tonight, the blonde girl is asked to go to the sea insect tribe to see if there are any survivors from the sea fish tribe. Hoo hoo. The hot air balloon took off again and began to fly towards the forest. After all, it would be too cold at night at the beach, and the smell of the sea was so strong that it was impossible to sleep. More than an hour later, the hot air balloon stopped at a secret place in the forest. Some of the preparatory warriors began to set up tents, while others began to hunt and prepare food for the night. Wu, can you produce salt just like this? Shalan asked curiously. When they were digging the salt pond and explaining the salt drying method, the cat-eared girl listened very carefully. Of course, you can just watch it when the time comes. Subai smiled and said. Fourth update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 470. Chapter 470, The Raft Maker. One more request for customization. As night falls, the moonlight covers the entire sea and the surrounding forests. The cold moonlight shines on the white sand and the reflected light is also very beautiful. Wow! Swish swish. Gurgling. The sound of the waves, the breeze blowing in the forest, and the screams of wild animals did not break the tranquility of the night at all. On the contrary, these sounds sound particularly comfortable at night on the sea, especially the deep sea at night, which seems really unpredictable. In the sky, Air pulled Coco and flew into the sky. The two of them were far away from the ground. Originally I wanted to take a hot air balloon ride, but the sea breeze was strong at night and the hot air balloon was not easy to control. In addition to the large size of the hot air balloon, it is not suitable for only two people to sit on it to fly over other tribes. Puchi, Puchi. Air kept flapping her purple butterfly wings, keeping steady while fighting against the oncoming sea breeze. She blinked her purple eyes and asked, which side is your tribe on? Just keep flying ahead, there are places we passed during the day. Coco pointed forward and said. Air looked in the direction pointed by her finger and saw the long coastline stretching as far as the eye can see. She had to adjust her state and said, then you have to hold on tight, I'm going to speed up. The coastline is endless. It takes time to fly. Butterfly girl can no longer fly slowly as she is now. Okay, it's dark, you have to be careful, Coco said worriedly. In fact, the blonde girl has been restraining her inner fear. It would be fine to fly in the sky with a hot air balloon, but flying in the sky like this now is a bit scary. After all, the girl is not a preliminary warrior, let alone a totem warrior. Just rely on it would definitely be scary for someone to carry her up to the sky. Unlike the hot air balloon, which is supported by a basket, which is more secure, she is purely relying on Butterfly Girl to hold her. Puchi, Puchi. The two of them flew along the coastline in the direction pointed by the blonde girl. In the night, their figures were not obvious in the sky. However, the bright moonlight shining on the Butterfly Girl's purple wings looked particularly beautiful. An hour later, the two began to slowly move closer to the direction they wanted to go. That's it, that's where our previous tribe was, Coco said while pointing to a tribe on the ground from high in the air. That tribe is still some distance away from the beach, and a bit far from the sea. The entire tribe is built behind the beach, on the edge of the forest. It doesn't look very big, but there should be quite a few people inside, Air analyzed. She saw bonfires lit in many places in the tribe. The entire tribe didn't look particularly big, only about 100 wooden houses. And there were dozens of tents surrounding the edge of the wooden houses. It looked like going up there is a veritable small tribe. There are more people in the sea insect tribe, so they must have divided their groups and come to this side, Coco said. The blonde girl initially thought that this tribe would be abandoned. After all, the area of the sea fish tribe is not as large as the sea insect tribe. Even if it is invaded, it will only take people away, and there are still some useful things that can be taken away. Don't commit the crime directly. It would be a bit unnecessary to move the people of the sea insect tribe here to live. After all, many tribes are the same. The reason why they want to attack another tribe is to invade the other's territory. After the attack, they will be there. Settle, but the sea insect tribe is larger than the sea fish tribe. So this possibility does not exist. The only possibility is to seize supplies. But what we see now is not like this, but there are people living in the sea fish tribe. But with the help of, according to the memory of the blonde girl, most of the people in the sea fish tribe were killed at that time. At most, there were only about 100 people left, so now that there are so many people in the tribe, most of them must be from the sea insect tribe. Okay, then hurry up and see if there is anyone familiar with you in the tribe, AI said. Butterfly girl handed over the telescope in her bag. Anyway, she didn't know anyone from the fish tribe. Coco took the telescope and started to look at everything below, but because it was night, she couldn't see very clearly. Fortunately, the blonde girl has been replenishing carrots, and with the telescope and the light of the moon and the bonfire, she can still see more or less. Puchi, Puchi. Fortunately, the butterfly girl had good physical strength, and she did not feel tired even after holding the blonde girl in the sky for a long time. It lasted for half an hour, but Coco still didn't find anything. I don't know all the people walking around in the Haiu tribe, not to mention all the people I see are from the periphery of the tribe. See nothing? AI asked. Coco shook her head, wondering there is nothing. I guess the people in our tribe are gone long ago. The blonde girl probably felt a little sentimental when she thought of this. She thought she would gain something tonight, but in the end she still had nothing. Let's stay a little longer and go back. If not, AI saw the other party's sadness. Originally, he should have gone back at this point, but in order not to make the other party too sad, he said he would stay a little longer. Of course, KK could understand what the other party meant and looked at him gratefully. And continued to hold the telescope and began to look at the tribe below. Time passed minute by minute, and another half hour passed, but the blonde girl still found nothing. Should we wait a little longer? AI is still very patient. It doesn't matter, let's go back, we've been out for a long time. Coco shook her head and said. Anyway, we have nothing to do when we go back, so why not stay a little longer? AI continued to insist. Coco looked at the other party with a smile, and continued to look down with the telescope. When she just started looking down, her golden eyes widened. She suspected that she had seen wrongly, so she took another look and said excitedly, I saw it, I saw it. Really? Who is it? AI is also glad that she let the other party stay for a while longer. It's a ridge. The raft maker of the fish tribe, Coco said. What is a raft maker? I only know carpenters and masons, AI said doubtfully. We often go out to sea to fish, so we need to make some rafts, and Long is a master at making rafts, Coco explained. So that's it, is there anyone else? AI asked. Coco continued to look at it for a while, shook his head and said, no one else has noticed it yet. Let's go back first and talk to Wu first. Good. AI flapped her wings and prepared to go back. Please update for support and customization.